Footage from the latest air operations by the Magyar Birds combat drone unit on the Eastern Front shows a series of precision strikes against Russian armed elements moving in open terrain. The operation was conducted in several phases, with the aim of suppressing enemy mobility and cutting off their lines of maneuver in the sector. From the beginning of the footage, the aerial camera reveals a vast, sun-kissed area, a strip of land bisected by dirt tracks and dusty fields. It was at these points that the operators detected the movement of small vehicles on the ground. Russian forces were using motorcycles to avoid detection and expedite their movement. In the initial phase of the operation, the air operators detected individual Russian motorcycles traveling along the barely protected dirt tracks. With measured calm, the attack drones were readied, and with no sound other than the drone's engine, the first target was detected entering the open corridor. Coordinates were locked, and within seconds, the drones were speeding toward their targets. After a precise detonation, dust billowed, and the vehicles came to a complete stop. However, a targeted explosion rocked the enemy rear. The small convoy was halted instantly, cutting off the flow of supplies they were trying to bring to the front. Not stopping at one target, the operation continued, footage showing a second and third vehicle, each ambushed sequentially along separate routes. The speed of execution and the composure of the operators underscore the unit's readiness and discipline in managing the threat of enemy mobility. The next phase shows the ambush of Russian armed personnel passing through open areas. They attempted to move through the cut-off route, but the drones reattached their targets and attacked them one by one, just as they appeared to be attempting to take cover. The attacks were carried out at several different points, demonstrating the wide scope of the operation and the continuous aerial surveillance. The climax of the operation occurred when a Russian motorcyclist appeared to lose control in panic upon realizing the drone was tracking him. In the footage, he is seen falling off his motorcycle and attempting to escape by running away. However, the Magyar Bird operators continued to follow with unwavering discipline until the escape attempt was finally halted and the threat neutralized. The success of the Magyar Birds unit in halting the movement of these small groups was seen as a significant strategic achievement. It narrowed the enemy's maneuverability and reduced their ability to open new fronts of attack. The operation concluded with the stabilization of the observation area, and drones continued to patrol the front lines, ensuring no additional enemy movement. While in the Dnipropetrovsk direction, Russian analysts claimed 2 successful crossings with 0 losses. Ukrainian forces documented the reality: one crossing with roughly 50 soldiers, half of whom were eliminated or captured, along with destroyed armored vehicles and a seized BMP-1 trophy. Here, the Russians opted for a daring move and managed to cross an important obstacle in the fog and deploy troops in a village, surprising the Ukrainian defense. The Ukrainians still managed to react quickly and engage the enemies, even turning the fog against them and capturing an intact Russian armored vehicle. The Russian assault on Novopavlivka began under the cover of dense fog, which prevented either side from fully relying on drones. Exploiting this rare window, Russian forces quickly set up a pontoon crossing between Yalta and Dakhne and transported roughly 10 armored vehicles across the river. Because the fog was extremely thick, Ukrainian surveillance detected the maneuver too late, allowing the Russians to disperse troops in the central and southern parts of the village. Russian analysts immediately glorified the event, claiming absurdly that the same vehicles not only made a successful two-way trip with no losses, but also immediately picked up more troops upon the return and made the second two-way trip undetected. Novopavlivka holds great tactical value, and if Russia captures it, its troops could push toward Mezhova from the south and severely weaken Ukraine's defensive flank west of the Pokrovsk direction. This area has very few settlements suitable for establishing firm defensive lines, meaning any Russian advance north of Novopavlivka could unfold quickly. At the same time, the fog-aided Russian breakthrough created initial concern, but the truth of what happened differs from the Russian narrative. The Russians managed to make only one crossing, and even that came with losses, as while the fog limited drone visibility, Ukrainian operators still managed to detect and strike Russian equipment. Geolocated footage shows Russian tanks and armored vehicles being immobilized before the fog lifted fully and later destroyed once visibility improved. Even so, Russia succeeded in landing a limited number of troops who immediately scattered across houses, small shelters, and farm structures. Ukrainian infantry began clearing operations immediately, working building by building and street by street to root out infiltrators. Soon after, Ukrainian forces released another geolocated video from Novopavlivka, showing the elimination of the Russian equipment that had managed to slip into the village. One armored vehicle and several Russians, initially lucky enough to evade immediate detection, were spotted and destroyed by drone-dropped grenades. While Russian sources claimed that over 100 soldiers infiltrated the settlement, judging that their second cross indeed happened, Ukrainian officers estimated that no more than 50 made it inside. Ukrainian soldiers captured 2 Russians from a destroyed BMP-2 and even managed to seize a working BMP-1 as a trophy, using the fog as cover to their advantage this time. From these engagements alone, 15 Russian soldiers were killed, while more footage indicates that at least 25 out of the roughly 50 infiltrators have been eliminated or captured, meaning that in reality, Russians made only one trip with 50% losses, not 2 trips with 0 losses. Ukrainian drone operators continued to hunt the remaining infiltrators, destroying 7 more Russians hiding among the houses in Novopavlivka. West of the village, at a nearby farm, Russian troops attempted to establish a foothold, but they were spotted by drones. Once Ukrainian operators struck them from the air with FPV drones, 2 Ukrainian Marines moved in and cleared the site. This perfectly illustrates how battles unfold now, with tiny assault teams determining the fate of several square kilometers, while drones guide every step. To prevent the Russians from exploiting the fog again, Ukrainian forces also struck the rear where new troops were gathering. A Ukrainian F-16 carried out a bombing mission against Russian concentration points in the village of Filia, destroying several buildings with soldiers inside. Simultaneously, Russian reinforcements attempting to cross the Volcha River near Yalta got stuck in heavy mud. What could have become a breakthrough instead became a traffic jam of 4 armored vehicles, all of which were destroyed by Ukrainian FPV and Vampire drone